Please go ahead.
Even Deepika?
Yes. Anna audible?
Yeah, you're audible. If you, it'd be great if you could
Okay.
speak up a little bit, but yeah, you're audible.
Okay. So, good evening, everyone. I'm Avishi Goyal, President of Cisco Incubator.
And I, Deepika Malhotra, maker at Cisco Incubator, welcome you all to the much-awaited final demo day of COVID-3 Cisco Incubator.
Before starting, let's have an overview of what Incubator is.
Cisco Incubator is a network of maker spaces in partner universities, where IGBTU is one of them, where students can learn about digital technologies in a hands-on environment and turn their ideas into working prototypes, and in the process, come up with local solutions to local problems.
I'm associated with Incubator since last 2 years. We started working on a parking management system, Parking Hero, and established our own company in 2019, which got selected in NASSCOM 10,000 startup. From just cribbing about parking problem to finding a solution for the same and converting it into a business avenue, we have traveled a long way. And all this could have been possible only because of Cisco Incubators.
This year, we started with 30 plus teams, and 8 best teams were selected for the final demo day.
We are proud of you girls for coming up with such a brilliant ideas, even having such a little experience in working on this domain.
Many congratulations to all the selected teams. To evaluate the market value of your ideas and your progress, today we have our respected jury members. Our first jury member is Dr. Arun Sharma. Dr. Arun Sharma, SPOC IGB2W. He holds PhD degree along with MTech in CSE. Currently, he is working as Associate Professor and Head of Department IT at IGB2W. He is the Manager Director, IGB2W and Mason Foundation. Also, he is the convener of Board of Studies for Faculty of Engineering and Technology. Our next jury member is
Dr. Mona Ghosh. She is currently working as Assistant Professor in Department of Information Technology at IGDTUW. She is a postdoctorate from Nanyang Technological University, Singapore, and recipient of prestigious TCS Research Fellowship Award. Coming to our next jury member,
Mr. Gaurav Indra. Mr. Gaurav Indra has 8 years of academic experience, who is currently working in IT department at IGDTUW. He is pursuing his PhD from University of Delhi. He is a MTech holder from Delhi Technical University and also has work experience in IT industry. Our next jury member is
Dr. Niyati Balian. She is an assistant professor at IT department IGG2W. She did her PhD from IIT Roorkee and attained a postgraduate certificate with honors in information technology from Sheffield Hallam University, UK.
Our next jury member is Madhuri. Madhuri is working in Cisco CX as technical leader and has a 12 years of industry experience. She is CCIE wireless certified. She believes in collaborating with people and likes brainstorming on business challenges. Our next jury member is
Ananya Tindai. She is telecom specialist with primary focus on wireless 4G, 5G network, IoT, cloud native application, and NFVI. She is working in the domain over past 10 plus years. Currently, she is working as solution architect at Cisco. Coming I feel very honored to introduce Pallavi Arora, our chief guest for today's event. She is currently holding the chair of Vice President at Cisco CX Center region, leading a team of over 5,000 people across Asia Pacific, Greater China, and Japan, responsible for transforming digital technology for their customers.
She advocates equal opportunities for women at workspace and has founded Cisco Connected Women in India to cultivate women in technology and leadership roles. We are very grateful to you, ma'am, for accepting our invitation and marking your presence here.
We also have with us Joshua, who's leading the Cisco Incubator program on the behalf of NASSCOM Foundation. Joshua has been very supportive throughout the whole Cisco Incubator program. Now I'll request Sahan Raj to give the introduction for the day today. Over to you, Sahan Raj.
Thank you, Vishay. Once again, I welcome all our juries and guests and our NASSCOM Foundation members also, team members also. So today's presentation format will be, there will be 8 minutes we will be giving to each team. In that 8 minutes, 4 minutes, each team will be having a video presentation. And then post to that presentation, we'll be having 4 minutes of Q&A session. After that, we will be having 1 minute for juries to score each team. Okay, so that means like 4 plus 1 minute. So since we are very limited with time, so we request our jury panel members to complete the Q&A session within 4 minutes only. Okay. So let's start now. All the best teams. So I'll be calling out each team name. So let's begin. Okay. So we will begin with team boot to boot. Hi team.
Hello, sir.
Yes. Okay.
Hello, sir. Sir, the audio isn't audible.
Now you might have to unmute yourself first.
Coronavirus. This is all we hear about these days. And this is the exact same reason that we have stopped hearing about this. The diseases which were already very prevalent before the coronavirus times are even more on the rise now. And despite that, we have seen our hospitals going. So how are we supposed to bridge the huge gap between the healthcare providers and the patients? Good evening, everybody. We are MedGency, a team of 3 very enthusiastic engineers from IGGTW who aim to solve this problem. That there are no affordable healthcare services online and the affordable general OPDs of the hospitals are not functioning well due to the COVID-19 fear. Our take on this problem is to become the channel of communication between the patients and their regular doctors at the hospitals and clinics they trust so that there is no intermediate party to interfere. The demo of a solution is as follows. The market size we estimate is of nearly 120 million people as we target the lower to middle income group people in our country. Our business plan includes charging commissions from clinic doctors on every appointment they fulfill, lending out services to hospitals on monthly charges initially and then annual charges as they become our regular customer, and to have premium plans for our customers to redeem coupons and offers. Our future goals include to have multi-speciality as well as dedicated hospitals on board, to establish a white label service wherein the patients can directly connect with the hospitals, and to provide a requirement specific and personalized system to every hospital that collaborates with us. To collaborate with ambulance services for our patients. Our social media outreach programs will include spreading first aid and our helpline awareness for any emergencies faced by the common people through social media campaigns on various social media sites, to invite doctors to conduct online seminars for healthcare related tips, and to display Google ads on healthcare websites and blogs. With constant efforts, we hope to have a huge audience and to be successful to bridge the gap between the healthcare providers and the patients. Thank you.
Hello. I would like to invite anyone from university to have a Q&A session with the team boot to boot.
So I just need one quick. Yes, sir.
You can carry on. Please.
Just that. How is your solution different from Practo, maybe?
Good evening, ma'am. Our
Yeah.
solution is different from Practo in the sense that Practo only has clinical doctors and the doctors which are available through private OPDs of hospitals. And our solution targets the general OPDs which are affordable.
Okay. So I also want to
Thank you,
ask
ma'am.
one thing. Yeah, Ritika, quickly. That do you have anything at the back end for managing the large amount of data that will be required? I mean, hospital already has some data in it, which will be storing the history of the patient records. So do you have any plan of migrating it to your system also? Somehow use that data?
Ma'am, Jyoti will answer this question. She is the technical lead of our team.
Ma'am, basically, we were trying to we were figuring this out because this is like the major task to do because they have already a lot of data to maintain, and most of
Yes.
the hospital that we have visited also maintain their register for the entry of admitted patients or other things. So that is we for as of a technical aspect, we were trying to use some technologies called ISQL, PostgreSQL for better for the last data. But this is still a question of the specific domain question, that how are we going to do that? Maybe the first one solution that we came up with, that we can actually do it independently, not plug and play with their derived their data only. So that is what we can do, because it would be a very it would be like a mess if we try to interfere in their predefined data. So that is what we're trying to do right now.
Okay.
But we were also considering cloud as a storage option.
Yeah, because my concern is like if you go to government hospitals like AIMS or Maulana Azad, so sometimes there is so much of a crowd that you get an appointment, like you are interested in an appointment for tomorrow, but you may not get it for 3 weeks or 4 weeks because there is already so much appointments already made. So you need to see all this, you need to manage all this, right? So suddenly, if in your mobile app there is lots of traffic for one particular time, one particular day. So have you thought of how you will handle this?
Ma'am, it will be managed by the hospital end from their website, so that they will close the slots for the hospital for the timings that are already booked. Like what we will show on our app is what the hospitals send us through their websites.
So that means that you need to have a constant connection with the hospital server because you need constant update of your data, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So you
Sorry
have.
to interruption. Like we are running ahead of time. Like
Yes. Okay.
so
Sure. Okay. Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
So Madhuri and do you have any questions for the team?
Hey, I just had one question. So firstly, it was an impressive presentation, so congratulations on that. One question for you guys. So why should a hospital choose Magency compared to Practo? What is, or like, if I'm a hospital, what is my incentive? Would you give me better commissions? Would you, what is my incentive to choose you over an established player?
Practo does not handle the huge
Hello?
amount of crowds that enter the hospitals daily for the general OPDs. Practo is only a private service. We are targeting Magency to become the service that handles their general OPD wings.
Mm-hmm. But let's say, like in a general hospital, right? You would always see a long queue, and those guys anyway have a lot of footfall, right? So why would they need such a service? Because they would anyway be having their own management systems for their patients. Also, they have systems to store their health records, right? Which maybe they wouldn't be comfortable storing in a public cloud or a third-party app. So, what would be your suggestion to them, or how would you approach a customer like that?
Ma'am, the answer to your question is that basically, first of all, it's we are trying to make a white labeled app. That is, the cloud that we would be providing would be totally like it would be shared one. That I understand the concern of privacy and security. Apart from that, it's a first of all, it's a white labeled service, and apart from that, that the main issue is that we have. The main issue is that we go to the hospital, we come back because बहुत ही ज़्यादा भीड़ हो रही थी and something like that would be happening. But to remove that aspect of overcrowding in the hospital, our app is the solution for that. And what we are trying to do is that why would they, of course, why would they want to take us? It's like they are just, why would they want to take our premium packs or whatever packs we are applying, whatever packs we are giving them? Basically, this is for the future plans. We can have some incentives also to give them key. If you use our app, we'll be building something else for you also. That is what we are trying to. We are actually, we have talked to hospitals also about it, but it's just that key. This is the thing. This is the field that we have to explore more still. So yeah.
Also, ma'am, during these corona times, the general OPDs are dysfunctional. They're not functioning. Only the private OPDs are functioning. So the people who went there for regular checkups, the people who could not afford private fees, what are they doing now? They have no chances of going there because the fee is very high for the private wings, and the hospital is not opening the general OPDs because there is much overcrowding. So what
Ritika,
we're
have
trying.
you heard of, sorry to interrupt, have you heard of eSanjeevani, the government OPD, online OPD?
No, ma'am.
eSanjeevani is very much functional in a lot of states. Please explore about it.
Sure,
It's an
thank you.
online OPD, right? Yeah.
Okay. Sorry again for the interruption. Like we are running ahead of time. So we have to end it. Thank you, team Boot to Boot. Okay. So now we are waiting for our jury to score the team. So every jury got a code. So and team code for the Boot to Boot is IGD05. IGD05. Okay. Can we go to the next team?
I haven't got all the scores in yet. We've got only 3 scores so far.
Okay. Can you please score the team Boot to Boot? Okay, next we are going with the second team, QBoard Secure.
John was happily using his account a few minutes ago when suddenly it comes not access his account anymore. And this can be a possible scenario of a data breach. So without any further ado, let's get started. A data breach is an incident that exposes confidential or protected information. It can be either intentional or accidental. The more the number of connected devices, the more is the possibility of threats and breaches. Most organizations that you transact with have elaborate security programs to protect your personal information, but it doesn't stop breachers from trying to steal your data due to vulnerabilities in software. Data theft affects millions of people around the world, and many companies suffered massive data breaches leading to frauds. So you can protect your data using a secure data transmission layer. Undeniably, most people are scared of security data breaches, and they often find themselves looking for solutions to the same, and consequently resort to various options. While looking for help, more often than not, an individual might stumble upon an evil attacker. Well, we are here to tell you all that we have a counter to all the attacker's spell. Upon intrusion, the attacker will have to decrypt his way through the sensitive information. Encryption of sensitive data will help the users keep their information safe. So we, QBoard Secure, bring to you all our solution to all the issues stated before. Meet QBoard Secure, where information meets security.
Now, before we talk about the business models and associated plans, let's see how the QBoard Secure application actually works. So, first up on your screen is a slideshow to help the users navigate better. If you are an existing user, you will have to verify yourselves first by entering your phone number or your email ID. Once you receive your OTP and upon completion of the process of the authentication, you would have to set up your account by entering your phone number, password, and your date of birth. However, a signed up user can always straight up log in by entering your phone number and password, and you are good to go. Now, you have your logs right in front of your screens, which are the encrypted messages you've exchanged till date. Yes. Well, you are not mistaken. That really is Captain America on the bottom right corner of the screen. Once you click on it, you'll have to enable the relevant permissions to enable its shield. That is the floating widget to make the most of the QBoard application. And this is where we come to an end of our demo. Now, let's talk about our business model. The key activities are selective encryption and decryption, which will be an added layer of privacy for safe transmission of data. Our value propositions, it includes the ICI to journalists who need to exchange the data with those sources every day over internet. Talking about the customer relationships, QBoard Secure app will provide them with a safer platform to communicate on. Major resources as used by our customers would be the double up security factor by opting for a subscription plan where VPN would play its part. Now let's talk about the technology and the future roadmap. We aim to store the hashes in association with the messages exchanged. We aim to do tunneling of packets so as to avoid backtracking. We are encrypting only text, but we aim to encrypt images, documents, and videos as well. Now, we aim to do our beta testing in October this year. We aim to launch the first version of our application in November this year, and we aim to target about 5K users in the next 6 months. Here is the Team Qboard Secure. Thank you.
Thanks, Team Qboard Secure. Now I would like to request our juries to ask questions.
Hello, Team Qboard Secure. Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible. Yes, sir.
Okay. So the Team Qboard Secure, just tell me. Hello.
Yes, Gaurav, we can hear you.
Okay. So I just want to know what exactly they are implementing in the tunneling.
Basically, for the starters, we didn't even know about this, but when we explored it, we thought that even backtracking of messages was also possible. Maybe I have the encrypted message, I can trace it back to a message that is in readable form. So we actually then learned the concept of tunneling of packets, with which we can actually stop the backtracking, which was a major issue if was to be done.
Which cryptographic technique you are using for the encryption and decryption?
So currently we are using RSA, but in the future
RSA with bit size or key size?
128 bit.
But RSA 128 is already broken. Have you gone through the literature?
Yes, sir. The thing is, we currently we are in the testing phase, so we are using this algorithm. But we'll be improving the encryption and decryption algorithms that we are using.
Achha, just answer one of my question. 5 days back, I had a online fraud from my PayPal account. Okay. So if my credit card is not safe with the PayPal, then how can I trust with your application? How can you justify the safety measures of your application?
Priya, I think you're on mute.
Am I audible?
Yeah, you are audible.
Okay, so sir, I was saying that as everything that exists in application form or either web form, it has information, even the most personal information. So cyber. So what we are actually trying to aim to is to make difficult for any of the attacker to breach into and access your data.
Have you heard about the man-in-the-middle attack?
Pardon, sir, I wasn't able to listen you clearly.
Man-in-middle attack.
Man-in-the-middle attack. Yes, sir. Sir, we have heard of it.
Okay, so is your application
aiming to rectify that only? Yes.
Yeah, is your application overcoming that man-in-middle attack, or you have not yet tested it?
Sir, the beta testing is yet to be done, but we are almost ready with the demo of our application, as we've already shown that. So testing it with the
How's the system performance when you install your application on the mobile phone? How is it working in terms of CPU cycles?
The question, sir.
I'm asking how stable is your application when you install on a mobile phone?
So as soon as you'll be installing an application on your mobile on any of the mobile devices, you'll have to log in first with all the the data that we are asking, the personal data obviously, so that we can detect who is a unique user and who is the right user that is actually logging into our application.
Okay, guys, sorry for the interruption actually. So we are running out of time. So can you have any questions from Ananya or Madhuri?
Yeah, I had a question. So have you guys done any prayer art in terms of who are the other companies who are thinking on the similar lines, and especially in terms of security, how do you expect everybody to trust since you're coming up with something new?
Yes, ma'am, there already exists similar lines, but the thing is, all of them with either you have to install the application, that their application, and that is only one-time use. It's like there's a messaging application that you install, and only in that scenario, or only into into entering into that application, you can ensure videos and documents are encrypted and are safe. But once you install application, it'll add a security layer for any of the other applications. So basically our main aim was to take into account the comfort of the user, that you and I, if chat today in any of the applications, so we are more comfortable with our own keyboards and our own user interface and experience. We all have our own, so we don't want to destroy that. So this way we are able to stand out.
However, our application does not provide an entirely different platform. It just it does not let the users. It lets the users stay in their comfort zones and the applications that they're comfortable with in their just to exchange the information over the application they're comfortable with, and use our application over it so as to exchange information. So that's how it's different, because we're not letting this user switch to an entirely different platform, but stay in the applications they're comfortable with.
Yeah, thank you, team Keyboard Secure. So we are running out of time, so we need to stop this one. So I request for jury to score Keyboard Secure. So their team code is IGD 22. IGD 22. Okay, if scoring is done, can we go to the next team, please?
Still waiting on one more entry.
Okay, fine. Okay, so the next team is Team V Hackers. Over to you, Team V Hackers.
Good evening, everyone. Hope you all are doing good. We are Team V Hackers. I am Virali, and we are here to discuss about dyslexia. Dyslexia is a learning disorder that involves difficulty reading due to problems identifying speech sounds and learning how to relate to letters and words. Around 10 to 15% of Indian children are thought to have dyslexia, and the bad part is most of them remain undetected in its early stages. I would like to tell you about Jalaj Arora. He's a friend of mine who got diagnosed with dyslexia when he was in 8th standard after he met with an accident. He was a very bright student, but later he was not able to learn as fast as other students. His teacher told his parents to change his school. This really broke him inside. But he worked hard and his dedication helped him to get into one of the prestigious colleges of Delhi. He is an athlete and plays for India on a national level. Going forward, around 35 million kids are having learning disability, ADHD, Down syndrome, etc. So how we are implementing this? Here is a demo video. Have a look. This is our application. I am entering my credentials to log in. This is Count Me game. Hello kids, this is Count Me game. Here we have 5 levels. Level 1 is for beginners and level 5 is for experts. You can click on any level. I am clicking on level 1. Here we can see some roses. 1, 2, 3. Click on 3. Yes, we come to the right. Well done. Ooh, we can see some chocolates. 1 chocolate. But what if I click on 8? Oops, I got it wrong. Do you want to count again? Click on yes. If you want to go to next question, click on no. So this is how this game works. This is level 5. You can see how the complexity has increased. This is Tell Me
kids, let us play Dora in the Sleepy Bear game. This girl is Dora, the bear, to help him, and one he finally read a set of the story.
Here a story will be played and you have to answer some questions. Dyslexic kids cannot retain visual information. Hence, here images are used as a medium to remember the whole story. You have to answer all the questions correctly. This is the third game, Draw Me. Here kids can come and draw numbers if they are fond of. There will be a lot of more games as well. Talking about the business model. So we are thinking to collaborate with NGOs and schools and will be generating revenue based on subscription model. Then we will be connecting with psychologists, and after 18 months, when we will be having enough data, we will launch a web app where parents can come and have their kids tested. This is how we will be developing our app further. We have built our basic prototype and working on MVP. We will be doing our first and second pilot soon, and then we will launch in collaboration with NGOs and schools. This is our team profile. We are Team V Hackers. I am Virali, and we have another team member, Ankita. And we are working tirelessly on the management measures of dyslexia. On that note, I would like to end up saying that coming together is the beginning, staying together is progress, working together is success, and we are working together to achieve success. We are open for all queries, suggestions, and feedbacks. Thank you.
Thank you, Team V Hackers. Now I would request our juries to ask questions with Team V Hackers.
Hey guys, I think I really like this concept, very new and much needed. I as such did not have a question, but just wanted to pass on the feedback and comments. Very well thought, and keep this going.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am. Anyone else? Yes.
Hey, this is Ananya. I had a small question here. So firstly, yeah, great work, team. I'm sure it took a lot of effort to get to this stage. So one question, who is your competition? Like, are there any established players in this space, and who are you up against, and what is your mantra to succeed? Or what have you thought about that?
Yes, ma'am, sure. So, yes, we are not the first one to address this problem. Many have addressed this problem, and we can see a lot of applications in Play Store that are working for dyslexic kids. But the thing is, like, we have Google Bolo also. Like, Google is trying to make the kids learn about how to read. Like, the audio will play, there will be some text written over there, and you have to repeat after it. But everyone has their own perspective, and so as we are working on data acquisition
because I really feel that we don't have enough data about dyslexia, and we are working on that. That is, I mentioned in our presentation that we are aiming to make a web app when we have enough data to make the kids test it, and it will also reduce the pressure on the psychologist. Like there will be a reduced number of patients going to the psychologist, and the other thing is most of the parents in India, like most of the people in India, they don't know about learning disabilities and dyslexia much. So our other main motive is to create awareness among the parents so that they can know about what exactly dyslexia is, and this is not a taboo. Like many of them have succeeded very nicely, and that is what we want to tell them.
Sure. So just one follow up. So this is a very content heavy app, right? So your day to day will depend upon how you innovate and how much content you can gather to put it back into the app. So are you collaborating with specialists to be able to guide you to what kind of content can cater to dyslexic kids? Or what is your knowledge base like, and how do you propose to enhance that?
Oh, we lost your audio, Virali.
Virali, are you there? Anyone from Team V Hackers? Are you there?
Any other team members?
NGOs in schools, in some of them, there are dyslexic kids and they are treating them. And we will also be collaborating with psychologists to make sure that we are not doing something bad, because customer is our primary concern. This is a very sensitive topic and we need to think about it. Yes.
Okay. Any other questions?
So, Ananya, actually, they've been interacting with a lot of schools and also NGOs who are actually dealing with many dyslexic children, also with the psychologists. So that's how they come to this.
That's great. Yeah, good to know.
Thank you, Joshua.
Okay.
We
Thank
lost
you,
your
Team
audio
V
in
Hackers.
between.
Yeah. So now I would request our juries to score for Team V Hackers. Their team ID is IGD 18, IGD 18. I hope everyone has scored their sheet. Can you go to the next team, please? Okay, so then next team is Team Rahi. Team Rahi, are you
Hello
guys ready?
everyone,
Okay.
I am Mansi, and along with me I have Shatuja and Shubhangi representing Team Rahi. In these distressful times, we recognize the need of mental health services and stigma related to it. So, just like you need a band aid for your physical wounds, Rahi provides first aid for your emotional wounds. Through our app, you can talk to someone, relax, and get professional advice. If we look at our customer segment and the market size, Rahi aims to become an app which is used by everyone or anyone. We wish to make this app a must have for everyone. Let's have the product demo.
Hi everyone, so I'll take you through our website, which is rahi.app. We have lots of activities that you can do on our website. You can even go to activities and book a workshop with us. These are some of our workshops and activities that we do. These are testimonials from our past workshops. We also write blogs to highlight stigmatized issues like feminism, suicide, etc. Let's see our app now. So this is the homepage of our app. You are greeted with a "How are you today?" and you can choose one of these emojis. I'll take you through the features one by one. The first feature that we have is Talk to Professionals. Here you can request and talk to any of the available doctors, and you can press contact them and chat now. Your old history is saved for the doctor's reference. Then the doctor can reply in real time. This is done through our partner app, which is meant for psychologists and working professionals. The next feature that we have is emotional hygiene, where you can track your emotional hygiene through these attractive cards, and it is saved in your profile. The next feature that we have is forums, where you can post content for a like-minded community. So you can post images, comment, or like. The next feature that we have is the Calm Box, where you can listen to calming music, view relaxing visuals, or practice yoga. A very interesting feature is whenever you play a song, it is related to a calming visual which calms your mind. Another interesting feature we have is the profile section, which records all your statistics. So when you click statistics, you can view your emotional hygiene and how it has been. Also, you can check your mood from the mood check. The profile section also has your basic details in case you need to be contacted in times of emergency. And we also have credits where you can add credits to talk to a doctor. That's our app.
Let's now have a look at our revenue streams. Our revenue stream includes commission from psychologists, premium model, also the CSR policies of the companies, and we also conduct paid workshops for companies and organizations. Our future plan includes having AI and machine learning powered features like a mood sensing diary or a smart HR. Our 24-month roadmap includes launching our own app, collaborating with psychologists, marketing, and having as many workshops as we can have.
We already have a community that is active, and we are already organizing workshops for support groups, short movies, and music therapies. We also have workshops with corporates like Cisco Incubator. So we hope you can be a part of Rahi's community, and looking forward to work with you.
Thank you, Team Rahi. So I would request juries to ask questions to Team Rahi.
Hi, Team Rahi. Gaurav Indra here. I just want to know one thing. What's your revenue model with the psychologist or the psychiatrist?
Hello, sir. So since we are beginning it, so what we have thought is like we're going to charge around like 250 from the user, whereas we're going to give 200 rupees to the psychologist, and we're going to take 50 rupees for us, for our users. Also, like in the later stage, we are going to have like few advertisement, not in the in the every section of our app, but in the forum or maybe on the website where we write blogs and things, so that it can help us to monetize our own different things like our own servers and domain and developers.
Okay, if I say that the smart devices, let's say smart watch or something, which are like continuously monitoring your physical pulses or the heart rate, heartbeat, blood pressure, can these features be integrated into your module for evaluating the emotional quotient or the
Sure.
emotional hygiene?
Yeah, definitely, sir. What we have thought is like we're going to integrate these things into our app. Like these tools would help the psychologist a lot. I mean, there could be an option like if the user wants to share his data, like you said, the heartbeat data of like a month or maybe like 2 days back or something. Then a psychologist can have like an idea like, okay, these are the physical symptoms of the user. Also, sir, as I said that we're going to add like different NLP and machine learning feature in our app. Like what we have thought, like we're going to generate data from our forums. Also, we're going to include like mood sensing diary, where user can whenever user is going to input their thoughts and anything. So we're going to use NLP and machine learning to analyze the mood, and the sentiment analysis would be done with the data that we are getting.
Does your mobile app generates an SOS signal?
Yes, so we're thinking to implement an SOS button wherein we'll have like different suicide helpline number which are generated by the government, so that they can contact to the proper resources. Like if someone is suicidal or someone needs SOS help.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir. I'd like to add.
Yes, Mohana ma'am. We can hear you.
Can I ask a quick question?
Yes, please. Yes.
So it's not really a question, just a pointer. Maybe I wanted to. You people are planning to use AI for this purpose, but maybe you are undermining the power of human intelligence here, and how, even though we are at times where social distancing is the mandate, but I think there's something that we need to do. Especially for introverts. I mean, if they are addicted or glued to their screens in these times, also, I think. Instead of a video call to their near and dear ones, maybe it's actually worsening their situation, isn't it? I'm in no way deploring what your solution is, but then do you think addiction of phone, because there have been studies on this, that addiction to phone actually in fact causes anxiety, that defeats the very purpose of your app. Okay, so the app itself can actually cause things like migraine, anxiety, and restlessness. Okay, overuse of it. So that was my first observation. Second is that you're up against big players like Sadhguru, Art of Living, Burma Kumari, Shivanis. They all have their apps. They have pleasant music that you can listen to, tune into. They have their discourses recorded on both live. They have yoga classes also, which are on. Okay, CureFit is offering live classes with Mary Com and so on. And even if you think of your own merchandise, maybe selling your products, again, the competition is really huge here. So how are you trying to distinguish yourself from things like Art of Living?
Sure.
They do have apps and they do have all similar solutions.
Sure. As you said that Art of Living or like different, like there are so many people, like even Ramdev has an app. But the very important thing that we mentioned is like that our tagline says that we are an emotional first aid. Just like ma'am, there's like physical first aid wherein what you do, like if you get hurt, then you apply a bandage. So this is how our app would help. Like if you're facing any emotional difficulty, like you've gone through any major heartbreak or rejection, or you're like in a loop of overthinking, so we have a professional, like instead of going and talking to your own friends or family, sometimes what happens is like you go and talk to your own family members, but they do like, okay, like you talk to them like 3 or 4 times, but still you're not getting proper help from them. They can't be professional. Like,
okay, probably could also collaborate with authors of self-help books. Maybe they would want an ebook or an audio book to be up on your website.
Now we're going to also have like podcast and different things on our app.
Great.
Basic thing is like we're going to have psychologists and therapists and like counselors who are going to help people to deal with this. So this is one of our main feature, because all the other apps does not have like psychologists and counselors on our app. Also, we're going to help. We're going to give extra income source for the psychologist and different professionals who are in the mental health field, because because right now we are only talking about like how people are not getting sufficient help from the psychologist or thing. But if we look at in the market and we see that there are so many psychologists and counselors, they don't have like customers coming up and talking, like getting services, because how stigmatized mental health is. So when we're going to provide a way through which you can talk to your a psychologist through your own app, like nobody knows that you're taking help and all, because you cannot vanish the stigma like in few days, but you can use our app to deal with it. You're talking to the psychologist and you're getting help that you needed, instead of going to their office and like people talk, and there are so many other things that we all are aware of. So this is how we're going to deal with all of these things. The stigma that is here in India, according to, and we have read many researches and many reports. Ma'am, NHCI report in America, which suggests that people are now more comfortable, with video counseling rather than going to the hospital and getting the treatment, because it's kind of saving their time. Also, ma'am, in depression, people are not, people don't want to visit to the, don't want to go and visit the hospital or things. They can, but with the app, what they can do is they don't just open the app and here you are. You can talk to any counselor or anyone, any therapist you want. So help is just like a click away. It's going to be
Okay. I think, yeah.
Yeah, so we are running out of time. So if we are done with the question, can we go to the scoring section? Thanks, Team Rahi. If scoring is done, we'll be going to the next team.
Thank you, sir.
I request Cisco jury also to score the Team Rahi. Their team ID is IGD 26. Sorry. Okay. So next team is Team SIA. Over to you, Team SIA.
Yes, I did it. This is the greatest story idea ever. This is the story of a young man who lives at oh my God, what is wrong with me? Why am I not able to think? Have I lost my style of writing? Will I never be able to write something good again? Why is this happening? How do I fight my writer's block? Oh no, oh no, oh no. I can't do this. This is the writer's block. Help me. Well, that was a bit dramatic, but what we just saw was a perfect example of something called a writer's block. The condition of being unable to think what to write or how to proceed with writing. And be it an aspiring writer or an established novelist, everyone goes through this once in a while. And well, you can fight this war with words now using Nirvana. How, you ask? Well, simply by using our tools like our plot generator, plan sheets, story flow maker, and our grammar-rich editor. Our plot generator will help you find the perfect idea plot. It will help you generate a plot line with your requirements set. Then, our character plan sheet will help you build characters with strong motivation and depth. Every great story needs a great outline. A strong story outline, a chapter outline, a structure, characters, time periods, concept, conflicts, and themes. And hence, our story flow maker will help you plan out the flow of the story in chapters. Also, one of our key features is that Nirvana will give you a global platform for collaboration. Co-author books that are planned and written together and gain from each other's strengths. And then you can just start writing at a platform using a grammar-rich editor. Grow every day from an amateur writer to a best-selling author. Rise in popularity by gaining reads and applause. And after that, here's our small demo video. This is Nirvana, where you can start writing by simply logging into your account. Here you can see all the books that you've written in a collection together. You can also explore different books written by different authors. You can browse through these books using different genres like mystery, non-fiction, poetry, thriller, etc. You can filter these books using various filters For example, the status of completion, the age group, etc. This is how a book will look like on our platform. You can start a new book by filling in some basic details like the title, the description, the genre, etc., which will help the readers find your book. This is our story editor, from where you can write your story and also access our different features like plot generator, plan sheets, flowcharts, etc. This is the plot generator, wherein you can fill in your requirements using a drop-down menu and generate the different plot aspects. From here, we move on to our business model. We plan to provide the publishers a special account on the platform where they can have a location-wise popularity filter, which will help them find out which books are popular in which region. Our writers can have subscription for our key features like our flow maker and our plan sheets. Also, the publishers will have deals for every book they publish from our platform, including terms of royalty. This is our team. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Team SIA. So now I would request juries to ask questions to Team SIA.
Hey team, just had a quick question. How are you guys differentiating yourself? Like, what is that one additional feature that you are providing if I have to pick one? If it's just an editor, do you have any, advanced features? Why would somebody would want to come to your website and start writing? What's in it for them?
Ma'am, I think the one feature that no other such platform has is the collaboration feature. On our platform, you can just generate a collaboration request, giving some basic details of the idea, and people from across the world can see your collaboration request and collaborate with you. And other than that, also we are providing you with the flowchart maker and the plan sheets, which will help the writers, the big writers, to plan their stories properly so that they're able to write better.
Yeah, one thing I saw in presentation was already the collaboration part. I was just, trying to understand more on, I see Niyati had put in a comment as well. Something which is differentiating, which would bring in more people and audience towards your site, right? Some innovation or, there should be something for them that will drag towards your app or website.
Our platform has features to make it easier for the young and beginner writers while writing, because while writing, one of the most important things are your characters in a story. And if you're able to plan your characters properly, if you're able to lay down what motivates them and what they value, you're able to build better characters, and you're able to see the character development from there itself. So that helps you write a better book. Whereas other platforms provide you with an editor where you can write and post your chapters, but they don't actually provide you with something that you can use to grow as a writer. Features that help you in writing your story.
Okay, thank you.
I think Niyati ma'am has a question, like how do you ensure plagiarism and then like hasn't recommended similar stories to more than one author?
So like, are you doing some similarity check because you're working on text? So is there any like cosine similarity, Jaccard similarity? Maybe are you using some metric which is finding similarity within your recommended text or storyline? Because subconsciously it may be there, inadvertently the app might end up suggesting similar stories or characters to people. Also, is there a feature which can actually type in my story as I read it? Because my speaking or thinking skill is a lot faster than my typing speed. So is that possible as a future enhancement maybe?
For now, we'll have a report button to ensure that the story is not copied. But in future, of course, we can add machine learning models like you said, cosine similarity. We can do that. But for now, we are planning to just add a report button.
Any other questions?
Who is our competition? So there is Wattpad, but yes, it is not providing many features that we are providing. Like there is no tool for collaboration and many other which we are providing. So it's that.
Okay, I think so we can move ahead with the next team. Before that, like we'll ask to jury to score the team SIA. Their ID number is IGD 23. IGD 23. Thank you, team SIA. I think we can go to the next team. So the next team is Team NerdStack. Over to you, Team NerdStack.
Despite 74 years of independence, the status of women has not improved much over the time. Due to lack of proper education and health, every 90 seconds a woman dies due to health-related diseases. 603 million women live in countries where domestic violence is not yet considered as a crime. Around 35% of females in India are still illiterate. Not just this, over 60 million girls worldwide are child brides, married before the age of 18. Now, all these factors boil down to a single cause, which is lack of awareness. Hence, as female developers, we wanted to use our skill set to tackle this problem and benefit the society by spreading correct information and sharing what we have experienced.
So, as to cater to all those issues in the most stimulating way possible, this is where we step in. We have created a platformer game which is simple yet engaging to play. It focuses on the root causes and aims to sensitize the children of a target impressionable age group 8 to 15, by putting them in the shoes of women and giving them a taste of the real life experiences and is impactful on all genders. So, we present to you Adamya. We chose the name Adamya, the Indomitable, as to signify the fact that women's vision should not be influenced by others around her, and she should have the freedom to take responsibility. The game has a lot of levels depicting the different phases of a woman and related scenarios to the level pop up. Rest will be demonstrated in the demo.
Coming to the demo, we have a website. Clicking here, you can sign up using all your details. Once you have registered, a verification link will be sent to your email ID. You can verify yourself so that only authorized people have access to our game. You can come back here, use your credentials to log in and get access to our game. From here, you can download exe files for Windows as well as Linux OS. Clicking the Play Now button, you can play the game online. When you look here, we have our website present in multiple languages, including some regional languages such as Malayalam, and thus this website is scalable to many other languages as well. When you click here, you can visit the official website of Beti Bachao Beti Padhao for further information. This is the page where you can play a game online, hence removing the OS dependency.
And now moving on to the actual demonstration of the game. Here you can see we have 3 options: play, instructions, and quit. So let's play the game. First of all, I'd like to talk about the different features of the game. Here you can see we have coins, which represents the financial status of the player and can be used to buy apples and books, which I'll be talking about shortly. Then we have 3 meters. The first one is the health meter. This represents the health of the player, and just like in real life, wherein you have a minimum calorie requirement, the user also needs to maintain the health of the player, which is continuously decreasing. This can be done by collecting apples. Next up, we have the education meter. Now, this represents the knowledge level of the player and can be increased by collecting books. Now, the higher the education meter, the more chances you have of availing opportunities such as scholarships and jobs, which can be used to earn back the money that you've spent. Finally, we've also included a happiness meter in order to factor in the mental health of the player. So let's play the game. Here you can see that by collecting the tokens, the apples, and the books, the respective meters are getting updated. Finally, we have a growth quotient, which opens up a scenario. This scenario represents a real life situation, and just like in real life, wherein different decisions have different impacts and no decision is right or wrong, in the game as well, each of the options has different impact on the health, education, wealth, and happiness meter. Finally, related fact pops up. This allows the user to understand why the decision may not have been the best one and to make informed decisions in the future. To conclude, in order to proceed forward in the game, the user needs to make the best possible decision at every stage and maintain the health, wealth, education, and happiness meters.
As you can see here, through a step-by-step implementation of this roadmap, we plan to release a game in both government and private schools as a part of their educational curriculum by the start of the next academic session. Meanwhile, we will also be working on building a brand through social media outreach and collaborating with NGOs and social influencers. Finally, coming into the business plan, this being a social initiative, we do not have a profit generation system in mind. However, to account for the outgoing costs, such as maintenance, a development team, and backend costs, we've identified revenue streams, which are support from NGOs and companies under CSR policy, government support, since this problem statement was given by the Ministry of Women and Child Development, and eventually a subscription model and advertisement to sustain this business plan. With the aim to bring about a positive change in the society, with the right support and our own enthusiasm, we bring to you Project Adamya. Thank you.
Thank you, team. Now I request juries to ask questions to Team NerdStat.
Hey folks, this is Ananya. Just one question, right? Why would a child want to play this game against, say, Minecraft or Temple Run or Dota? Or say Counter-Strike, which is very popular, right? You get to even kill people. So why would someone want to play this game against the other, more appealing and less heavy on the brain kind of, applications? Where game is usually targeted for entertainment, right? So why would someone choose this? Or are you trying to push this through as an education tool that schools would enforce? So what is your appeal to the kids to play this game?
Yes, and that's an excellent question. So I agree that these are all these very engaging games. If you would have noticed, this game kind of follows the premise of Mario, which is an extremely popular game. I mean, I'm pretty sure all of us have played it at some point. So we have that appeal. It's engaging. So you're playing, you're collecting all these, you're collecting apples and education. You're keeping yourself alive, and you're moving forward in a game. So we aim to target the reward generating mindset of people, that you look forward to a reward, so you play it. And other than that, of course, for someone to get started into playing this game, definitely we need a push, because it is, I agree, it is difficult for someone to randomly start it, which is why our plan is to introduce this in schools. So it will be a part of the education curriculum, but it isn't something that's being forced or you're just doing it for the sake of getting marks or studying. This is an approach that combines fun along with learning. So that is our aim with this concept.
And also to add to that, so this problem statement was released by Ministry of Women of Child and Development. So this is something the government is actually looking for, a game through which we can actually create awareness about by imparting correct information to the students at an impressionable age where they are actually forming their opinions. Thank you.
And yeah, just to conclude that, I just wanted to add that children as it is need to learn about these values, and I think if they learning about them about these things through a game, it will be a much more engaging and fun way to do that. So that would be the incentive for the children.
So I'm just thinking aloud, right? So I feel the issues that you have touched upon are really important issues. But I think as a society, the adults should be more engaged in those issues. So do you have any plans of extending such games for adults? Because I think as a parent or as a parent of a girl child or even a boy child, right? I should be more informed that, he should go to a school rather than work to earn money, right? So do you have any such informatory or educational tools for adults, especially in the segment of the lower literacy, pockets of our demography? So do you think
Actually,
you can?
I also wanted to stress on the question that Ananya asked, that exactly, yes, children do, if they learn about this, it's good. But what about the parents or the adults? Because they have a very strict notion. I mean, those who are already against women empowerment, they already have a very strict notion against this. So how do you think that your app will help in breaking that barrier? Or how will you motivate those sections to use your app? What do you think?
Okay, so to take that, ma'am, basically our target audience, the target age that we've kept is from age to 15 only. And the reason for that is that we did a lot of research before making the game, and we found that the children in this age group are actually the most impressionable age, and it will be easier for us to impart these ideals on them as opposed to an adult who's already formed particular opinions and already has a fixed mindset. So that is why we wanted to, we wanted to make an app which caters to children. But obviously, like I'll give you an example. So we have one particular scenario in which deals with, educating educating mothers who not working or are not doing a job currently, and it's about earning degrees later on in their life. And we feel that these scenarios, if the kids are learning about them, they can also motivate their parents to take up education at a later stage in their life without the shame or the other aspects of it. So that was our thinking when we made the application.
And to add to that, just one point. So, since children are primarily playing this game, we also know that children talk. So they go to their homes and they tell what they've learned and everything. So when they play this game and it makes an impact on them, they will go and talk to their parents about it and tell them what they've learned. They could also have their parents play this game. So that is not our main intention. That is a byproduct that we've thought of to get this impact to the adult generation. But yeah, our main target is children for now. So yeah.
And also to add to that, the particular age which we have chosen. So this is an age where we think that we are capable of making our own decisions, and we step towards that particular mindset. So when we will have, and even if we are making some decisions and we do not have a correct information, that can surely lead to some bad results, right? So one such example in our game is like substance abuse. So I went to a party and people are my friends are just asking me to have some just to taste, right? But if I don't have the information that this is something illegal, this is inappropriate, so I will not take the action accordingly. So through this particular, so we are not just trying to cover the problems which women face, but with day-to-day struggles which women faces in her life. So we have
Shivalika, just to so where do you get the information from? As in the pop-ups that were telling certain options and then marking them accordingly. Who is your expert system based on? Like, who is the domain expert that you're seeking these inputs from?
Yes, so ma'am, right now, since we were focused on building games, so we have a data set which we have produced based on our experiments. I mean, based on our experiences. But ma'am, further on, we will be basically conducting a survey about, what women thinks, and, NGOs which have expertise and which basically deals with women empowerment, so that we'll get
Yeah,
a
I think you need to do that because legal and factual things aside, there are a lot of subjective things that come when ethics and beliefs are to be discussed, right? And one's morals may be different. In fact, it might vary across cultures and regions also. So maybe you need to kind of have a localized version of your app, or maybe have input about the demography of that person or kid, right? When you seek personal information in your app when the kid registers, okay? Because the results may vary, and this is the heart of your app basically. This expert system or this rule based decisions that you're making, I think this needs to be really strong and foolproof. Otherwise you might end up giving wrong directions actually, on the contrary. So please make sure that the provenance and authenticity is there in this section.
Yes, ma'am. And just to add to that, we do plan to release
Sorry
it
for
in.
the interruption, Shivalika. So we are running out of time. Can you just quickly answer that?
Yes, so I was just saying that to add to that, so we do have a language option in our game as well. So we do plan to extend it to other regions as well. And the way we're extracting our scenarios is through a question bank. So we can make specified question banks for different regions as well, as you were saying, to cater to different communities. So that's something that can be easily done.
Yeah, thank you, Team Nurshak. So I request jury to score the sheet. If scoring is done, can we go to the next team, please? Okay, the next team is Team Hackons. Over to you, Hackons.
Hello everyone, this is Team Hackons, and we will be talking about our project Swachhta. This project is focused on the sewer workers and their increasing death rate, and how we, with the help of our project Swachhta, are trying to resolve the issues they face. According to the Ministry of Social Justice and Empowerment, nearly 8 lakh people in India work as manure scavengers. This graph shows the deaths taken place per year, and these continue to increase with time. Activists and the National Commission of Safai Karmcharis claim that the government authorities are still undercounting the number of such workers in their state. Manure scavenging is a massive social discrimination which is taking many lives on a daily basis. Sanitation workers have to risk their lives by physically entering the septic tanks and sewers for many years now. Now let us discuss the key problems that we are trying to resolve. The first one is the lack of proper management for sewer system. The second is the workers are sent into the sewers containing the harmful gases. The third is presence of the clog detected at a very later stage. The fourth one is the lack of safety equipment. These are the major problems that the current sewer system has, and we are trying to resolve these problems. So depending upon these problems, we have divided our user into two parts. The first one is the government employees working for the sewer department, and the second one is the citizens who wish to file a complaint. Now let's have a look at a solution. Our solution is mainly divided into two parts. The first is the detection of clog before the manhole starts to overflow. The second one is the management of sewer systems using an application. So this was all about what we have implemented so far. Now let me brief you about the future roadmap we have planned. So in the upcoming versions, we will be adding 2 more features, that is the prediction of clog and the multilinguistic feature. So now let's have a look at a demo.
Now let us have a look on our applications demo. This was the loading page. Now here are 2 options, that is the government employee and the common citizen. Let us first explore the employee screen. Here we get to enter the unique ID and the password that is provided to us by the administration. On logging in, we are directed to the home screen. We can see various options. On clicking the map, the admin can select his respective area in order to see the level of the various manholes on the map. Each marker represents the location of a particular manhole which we are fetching from the Firestore, and on clicking a particular marker, the information related to that manhole will appear, which we have attained from the sensors attached to the respective manhole lid. Accordingly, the employee will be notified if there is a clog or not, depending on the level of the water inside manhole. Now, let us go to the messaging part. This is the messaging portal where the admin can message with other admins. There are also two other options, first being the complaint option, where we can view the complaints filed by the common citizen and the graph. Now, let's view the user section. The user will select his or her respective area. Now, let's move to the complaint section, which is the key feature of the user interface. The user can file a complaint here. On filing a complaint, he can view or close the complaint. There are other options as well, that is the map option where he can see the map and the markers, the connection option where he can apply for a new connection, and the FAQs option. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Team Hackon. Now I request juries to ask question, please.
So I wanted to ask one thing, that you said that you are going to deploy sensors on all the manholes, right? So that you can collect the data. So, in countries like ours, which like we are still developing, right? So, and then subjected to various conditions, what if these sensors do not work? Then how do you think your app is going to stay robust? Because very easily these sensors can malfunction, right, due to various reasons. So the crucial part is sensors giving you the data, right?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, that was our key concern when we started with our project. And then we went to the various government employees, getting to know more about the sievers as we weren't very aware. And on talking to them, we came to know that most of the sewer lines are so overflooded because they aren't planned. In Delhi, very few places have planned sewer lines, and that is why the government of India has come up with the 2031 plan, where they have planned to put smart planned sewers. So we just thought that okay, there is a problem that right now the sewers are not planned, but as the government has planned till 2031, the situation may be better, the sewers may be better planned, and that is why we thought to make them smart and put sensors into them. And ma'am, also to answer your question that how will our sensors work in such hazardous conditions. So ma'am, for that, right now what we have thought is that we would be putting IPC coating on all the sensors. That is, it will save it from water, it will save it from corrosion, as the gases are very corrosive in nature. So ma'am, this is a plan till now, but as we move forward and come across more problems like this, we would include more things.
Okay, because right now I feel, because we do not have such a system at hand, so even if you employ the sensors, collecting data from it, screening through it, and then displaying correct information, it's going to take in a lot of effort. And without government help, I am not sure. I mean, I don't want to demotivate you, but I don't know that whether idea is good, but whether it will be helpful or not, unless and until government helps you. The local bodies here will help you. And for that, they need to have some kind of approval to install these sensors, collect data, store it somewhere, process it, right?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, as that was one of the concerns in the starting, so the first thing we did before starting this whole project was go to the various jal boards in Delhi, the various sewage plants, and other employees, government employees working on this, and we discussed up what we were planning with them. So, ma'am, most of them were very supportive of this, but we also understand that till the point we don't have a working application, or we are able to convince them that this is useful for the government employees, they won't take it. And that is why, ma'am, we right now we haven't added prediction, and that is a future plan. We aim to file an application to be able to put our sensors in some of the manholes, get the data from there, and then use it, and accordingly run our application, so that at least we can convince the government employees that yes, this would be helpful to them.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Team Hackathons. I request juries to mark the course sheet. If we finish scoring, can we go to the next team? Okay. I request. Okay. So the next team is Team Hackerjacks. Over to you, Hackerjacks.
Good morning, everyone. I am Parul Seth, and it gives me immense pleasure to interact with you all today. So let's talk about our first internship, which was mostly about colleagues and seniors asking us to get coffee for them. On my first day of internship, I was also asked to do so, but the coffee machine there looked somewhat like this, with lots of confusing buttons, and I was standing there and hoping that something could help me at that moment. Since we cannot carry instruction manuals everywhere with us, so why can't we have something on our phone which is more convenient and much more lesser time consuming? That's how we thought of AR manuals, which is more interactive. It will provide the step-by-step visual guide to the user. It will take much lesser time, and user will get more clearer visualization of the product. So our vision is to create an application that teaches user to use anything around them.
Rohit is an IT professional working in Bangalore, and his parents live in Delhi. This Diwali, Rohit decided to gift his parents a microwave. The microwave arrived, but his parents didn't know how to use it. So Rohit gave our app to his parents so that they could understand the working of a microwave in a better way. So this was Rohit's parents' experience.
Step 1. Before setting up, make sure you have all the components: microwave, turntable, and glass tray. Step 2. Open your microwave. Gently pull the door to open. Step 3. Place turntable. Position the turntable on the circular groove. Step 4. Place glass tray. Place glass tray on top of the turntable. Great job. You are all set to use the microwave. Start button. This performs start function. Stop button. This performs stop or clear function. Increase button. Press increase once. The cooking. Time buttons. These are buttons to set time for different intervals.
Our AR manuals are not just limited to AR products or electronic products, but there is much more to it. We have made an AR app for the chess game as well. All you have to do is scan the QR code and a chessboard will appear. On clicking on each piece, a description about that piece and audio support will be there. And you can even know about the possible moves a chess piece can make by tapping on a particular chess piece. You can also play the chess game in our application itself. It will highlight all the possible moves a piece can make while playing.
Furthermore, for the users to have access to our AI-enabled applications, we have developed an online web portal. The portal has login functionality for both users and admin. Next, we have a user registration page where user can register to make use of various functionalities. This is the admin dashboard page. Admin has the functionality to upload an APK file for various applications. And these applications will be visible onto the user dashboard page as shown. This is our team profile. We have Parul Seth, Priya Joshi, Pranjal Bajaj, and Kritika Hasija as our team members. Thank you.
Thank you, Team HackerJax. Now I request juries to ask question with the Team HackerJax.
So guys, just one question from my side. This is Ananya. So how do you plan to scale? Like there are innumerable amount of appliances and devices, right? So how do you plan to incorporate all of them?
Yes, so yeah, so we will approach a particular company. Let's say we approach LG. So there will be certain appliances of that company, right? So if we'll approach them, we'll make applications for, our application will be available for all the appliances of LG company. Yeah, so this is how we are not planning to do it for all the things. We just wanted to do for a particular company. Yeah.
That's a good effort. Actually, I found this very let's say friendly application for older people. So yeah, good work there. I really hope wish you all the best and hope you get adoption. Good work there.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions? Okay, then I think we can go to the scoring part. So the team ID is IGD08. So I request juries to score Team HackerJax. Okay, so that's the end of our demo day. So now I request Avishi to take over. Over to you, Avishi.
Hello?
Yes, Avishi, you're audible.
Good work, guys. So now we'll move towards the closing remarks. So I request Ananya ma'am to enlighten us with her kind words.
Hi, thanks, Avishi. It was a great pleasure to be a part of the demo day today. And I also got to know about how the vibes are in college. It's been a long time since I was in college. So it was really amazing to interact with all of you. And I wish all of you all the best. Very interesting ideas. And I hope you guys can see great success in your apps and all the work that you've put in. So I wish you all the best. Thank you so much.
Hello, ma'am. I would like to invite Madhuri ma'am to oblige us with the few words of inspiration. Hello.
Hey everyone, can you hear me fine?
Yes, now is better.
Begin. Okay. Firstly, a big clap and kudos to all of you. I think great work, fantastic work on all your projects and so many efforts that you guys have put in. That's awesome considering, the existing pandemic time. So cheers. And I would wish you guys all the very best. Stay motivated and, don't give up. Persevere in what you're doing and wish you guys all the very best. Thank you.
Now I would like to invite Niyati ma'am for her words of encouragement.
Great work. Again, I would just second the thoughts of Madhuri and Ananya already. Sincerely great efforts from all of them, and I think they've received the right inputs at the right time to even do it better. And thanks for letting me be a part of it.
Now I would like to invite Mohana ma'am to enlighten us with her words.
Yeah, so thanks for inviting me to this great program. And I wish all the participants all the best and hope that we will look for great products to be developed into under IGTTU Cisco ThinkCubator program. So all the best to all of you.
Thank you, ma'am. So now I would like to invite Gaurav sir for saying a few words about the event. And Gaurav sir? I think Gaurav sir is not here. So Arun sir, can you share your words with us since you have been the part of the event since last 2 years? Please share your experience and about your journey with ThinkCubator.
I think it was a very satisfying day for all of us. Yeah, we have witnessed so many innovative ideas which may be useful for making our lives easier and better. Be it dyslexia problem or emotional intelligence of this or this last help our elders type of problems. All were having a great innovation and great work done by our team. Congratulations to all. On this occasion, I would like to thank the ThinkCubator team and its entire team from this LI2 and allied partners, including Loyal, Joshua, Sahan, for making it possible for all of us. Special thanks to Madhuri and Ananya for devoting your precious time and being with us on this evening. Congratulations to all the girls who participated in today's event and all the best for your future endeavor. Thank you all. Thank you very much.
I invite Joshua to give the closing remarks.
Yeah, thank you so much. It was a very pleasure for me to listen to all the ideas. It was all mind-blowing, actually. And I am sure the juries were actually struggling to score you all. And if some team is going to come to the felicitation event, I'm sure doesn't mean that the other teams have not done good. All the teams were really excellent. And a great job and a beautiful presentation. The video, the way you have created is really good. And I really appreciate you and wish you all the best for the future. And all the projects, whatever you do, be it good. And especially I thank Cisco for supporting this project. And really a good ideas have been coming out through this support from Cisco. And Professor Arun Sharma has always been with us in every discussions, all the talks, and I really thank you for that. And also my regards to VC ma'am I think it was her first project what she signed as she became the VC of the university. And I really missed her for this event. I thought she might be here. So, and also, Gaurav, thank you for your joining also. And I know you have been there with this project from the beginning. You've been interacting with all the teams, and you know everything much better than what anyone knows, I believe. And thank you for all the juries who were present here, Ananya, Madhuri, Niyati, and Moana Ghosh. Thank you for taking your time and validating all the teams. And I appreciate all your valuable remarks that you have given. I'm sure all the teams must have taken it very well, and it should be a very good growth for them with all the comments and feedbacks that you have given. They will really improve it, and I'm sure they're going to shine with your products. Last but not the least, my team, especially Lyle and Prashant, they have been continuously giving all the mentorship. And I really appreciate you guys. You've done a great job. And thank you for your support. And Sahan, who's been the MM, and I'm sure the team, the whole group must be really happy to get him back as a MM over there for Indira Gandhi Delhi Technical University. So it's been a great effort. You've put everything together beautifully. And thanks to everyone. And thanks for the time. Yeah, thank you so much.
So, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you all.
Thank you very much.
Thanks everyone for being part of this. Right.
Thanks, Avish. You are doing good job.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Okay, thanks.